Humanity had always dreamed of the stars, but when they finally reached them, they found themselves woefully unprepared. The ships they launched were crude, clunky, and laughably primitive compared to the advanced fleets of the galactic empires that ruled the cosmos. Their technology was based on decades-old blueprints, with patchwork solutions and systems that barely functioned under the harsh conditions of space. Yet, in the vastness of the universe, humans were not content to simply accept their fate. They had fought too hard for their place in the stars, and they weren't about to let their dreams be crushed. The first encounter with the galactic powers came when humanity's exploratory ships encountered the Korthian Empire, a race known for their indomitable strength and cutting-edge technology. To the Korthians, humanity was a curiosity, nothing more than a species barely capable of navigating its own solar system. They looked down on the humans, dismissing them as an insignificant, underdeveloped species. The Korthian ships, enormous and sleek, gleamed with the power of hyper-advanced technology, shields that could withstand the force of entire star systems, weapons that could obliterate cities in the blink of an eye, and faster-than-light travel that made their fleets virtually untouchable. The Korthians had come to Earth, eager to expand their domain and add humanity's fledgling colonies to their empire. They expected the humans to bend the knee and surrender without a fight, but they couldn't have been more wrong. The moment the Korthians set their sights on Earth, humanity's leadership made a bold decision. They would not be taken without a fight. Even with their primitive ships and outdated technology, the humans decided to stand their ground, no matter the odds. At first, the Korthians laughed at the audacity of the humans. Their ships were small, far less advanced than anything the Korthians had ever seen. Some ships were little more than repurposed cargo freighters, while others were hastily built military vessels cobbled together from the scraps of Earth's first attempts at space exploration. But humanity had one thing the Korthians could not foresee: determination. The humans did not know the meaning of surrender. They had been fighting against insurmountable odds for their entire history, and this would be no different. The first few skirmishes were a disaster. The Korthians, armed with energy weapons capable of piercing the strongest armor, destroyed dozens of human ships in a matter of minutes. But something strange began to happen. Despite the overwhelming odds, humanity's crews fought back with unrelenting grit. They didn't have the technology to match the Korthians, but they made up for it with their uncanny ability to adapt, improvise, and think outside the box. In the heat of battle, human ships began using unconventional tactics. They flew erratically, making unpredictable maneuvers that confused and frustrated the Korthians. They launched surprise attacks from unexpected angles, using asteroids and space debris as cover. The Korthians, trained in standard warfare tactics, struggled to adapt to the humans' unpredictable style. Each time they thought they had the upper hand, the humans found a new way to surprise them. Human engineers, working with limited resources, started to make the most of the technology they had. They discovered ways to rig older spacecraft with new, makeshift weapons, and began using modified communication arrays to jam Korthian sensors. They even repurposed civilian vessels into mobile battle stations, turning cargo ships and mining rigs into heavily fortified, albeit clunky, warships. The ingenuity of Earth's engineers and military leaders became the turning point in the conflict. What was once thought to be a disadvantage, their rudimentary technology, was now being used to the humans' advantage. As the war dragged on, the Korthians began to realize they had underestimated humanity. The humans had turned their perceived weakness into their greatest strength. The battlefields, once dominated by the sleek and powerful Korthian ships, were now full of human vessels that attacked with a ferocity the Korthians had never encountered. Human ships, though battered and heavily damaged, never stopped fighting. They launched daring raids against Korthian supply lines, attacked weak points in their enemies' defenses, and used hit-and-run tactics that left the Korthians reeling. The tide of the war began to shift. One of the most unexpected moves by the humans came when they used the Korthians' own technology against them. They had learned to infiltrate Korthian communications networks, feeding false information and causing confusion in the enemy's ranks. In one decisive battle, humanity managed to trick the Korthian fleet into believing they were attacking a large fleet of human ships in one sector, while a small human force launched a surprise attack on a vulnerable Korthian command ship. The loss of the flagship sent shockwaves through the Korthian fleet, and for the first time in the war, the Korthians began to falter. As the war raged on, humanity continued to defy the expectations of the galaxy's empires. The Corthians, unable to quell the human spirit, found themselves forced to retreat. The human fleets, though battered and exhausted, had proven that raw determination and the ability to think outside the box could overcome even the most advanced technology. In the end, the Corthians were forced to leave the solar system, their once invincible fleets shattered and demoralized. The victory was a testament to humanity's ability to endure, to adapt, and to never give up, no matter the odds. The humans, once dismissed as weak and unqualified for space, had not only survived, they had triumphed. The war had changed the galaxy's perception of humanity forever. No longer seen as a naive species, humanity's name now carried weight across the stars. The galaxy would never again underestimate the raw determination and ingenuity of Earth's people. And as the human fleets turned their eyes to the stars, ready to explore and expand, they knew that their greatest weapon was not their technology, but their unyielding will to fight for survival, no matter the cost. As humanity's victory over the Corthian Empire spread across the galaxy, it began to reshape the very fabric of interstellar relations. The once dismissed species, barely qualified for space exploration, had made their mark in a way that no one could ignore. The Corthians, humiliated by their defeat, withdrew from the solar system, but the memory of their crushing loss lingered. What had started as an overwhelming invasion, one they thought would be swift and decisive, had ended in one of the greatest surprises the galaxy had ever seen. In the years that followed the war, humanity did not rest on its laurels. The victory over the Corthians became a rallying cry for other species across the galaxy, those who had long been oppressed or ignored by the powerful galactic empires. The humans had proven that with determination, creativity, and resilience, even the smallest and least advanced species could change the balance of power in the galaxy. Alliances were formed, and the once rigid hierarchies of galactic politics began to shift. Humanity, no longer the barely qualified newcomers, began to carve out its place in the larger galactic community. With their victory fresh in their minds, Earth's leaders worked tirelessly to ensure the technological advancements needed for a more secure future. The war had shown them how far ingenuity could go, but they knew they couldn't rely solely on guerrilla tactics and improvisation forever. With the defeat of the Corthians, Earth entered a new era of rapid technological development. Human scientists worked around the clock to study Corthian technology, reverse engineering their advanced weaponry and spacecraft to create new ships and defensive systems. In a remarkably short time, Earth's space fleet was transformed from a ragtag group of old ships into a formidable force, designed to both defend the planet and assert humanity's newfound place in the galaxy. But humanity's real strength lay not in their ships or weapons, but in their resilience. Throughout the war, the human soldiers, engineers, and civilians had been pushed to their limits. It was the strength of their spirit, their refusal to give up, and their unshakable belief in their ability to overcome any obstacle that had won the day. Earth's victory was not just a victory of technology, but a victory of human will. As Earth expanded its reach into the stars, a new generation of explorers, diplomats, and peacekeepers emerged. With the defeat of the Corthians, humanity found itself at the center of a vast web of alliances and treaties. They were no longer the naive upstarts, struggling to survive in a hostile galaxy. Instead, they were seen as a symbol of hope, an example to other species that even in the face of overwhelming odds, survival was possible through ingenuity and perseverance. However, the war had also left scars. The battle for Earth had been costly, both in lives and resources. Entire fleets had been lost in the defense of the solar system, and the scars of battle were still evident on many of the ships that had survived. But the victory, though hard-won, had proven that humanity was capable of extraordinary things. The destruction and chaos of the war had been tempered by the hope that, as long as humans kept fighting, they could build something better, a future where they would never again be the ones underestimated or ignored. The Corthians, having learned a painful lesson, retreated to the far reaches of the galaxy, but they were not the only threat humanity would face. As Earth began to expand into the cosmos, they encountered new species, some friendly, some hostile. But with each encounter, humanity proved that they were no longer the inexperienced newcomers. The very qualities that had helped them defeat the Corthians, creativity, adaptability, and the strength to endure, would be the qualities that guided them through future conflicts. In time, humanity would come to be seen as more than just survivors of a single battle. They would be known as the species that had reshaped the galaxy's understanding of what was possible. The galaxy, once a place where empires crushed the weak, had been forever changed by the humans' defiance, their audacity, and their will to fight. And so humanity's story in the stars had just begun. The victory over the Corthians had only been the first chapter in a much larger saga. Earth's people were no longer simply looking to survive, they were now looking to thrive. The galaxy, once a distant and foreboding place, was now open to them. And as they ventured farther into the cosmos, the humans carried with them the lessons of their victory, that no matter the size of the opponent, no matter how advanced the enemy, the strength of the human spirit was the most powerful force in the universe. In the end, humanity was no longer barely qualified for space. They had become a force to be reckoned with, a species that had earned its place among the stars.